culture of I have a man just to say I have a man. It's hurting us all. It's hurting us all, Susanna. I have an observation, and my observation is that women are to blame for this debacle mentality that people now have, men and women that now have, in regards to dating and a man courting you. I don't think that there's anything wrong in a man providing a way for a woman to get to and from a date. There was nothing wrong with it in our fathers and mothers' time. I'm 30 years old, and I can bet you if you go and ask your mom how your father courted her, or go and ask your father, how did you get mom? He would tell you how hard he had to work, the mountains he had to climb, the adversities he had to face in order for him to acquire your mother as his wife. And today, for me to tell you guys that I require for a man to provide a car service for me to get to and from a date, I'm being insulted and called names, and people trying to bring me down in the looks department or how I carry myself, which is just, it's absurd to me. It's actually crazy. I didn't actually think when we do sit down and get into conversations about roles of a man and roles of a woman, you people really are leaning towards that 50-50 argument. Now, what is the essence of a man? What is the need for a man? What is the need for a man if a woman is having to show up as a man? The things that society is requiring for women these days is to show up as men. I would never preach for a woman to solely depend on a man, because that never ends well. I was 19 when I got married, and I was 25 when my husband died. I depended on my husband for everything, and when he died, I had nothing. So I would never come on the internet and preach to a woman and say, oh, look for just money in a man. For a man to come into my life now, I require a lot. When I was younger, all I cared about was money, and now I've grown and I've seen life, and money isn't everything. Money is a great deal of how things go around, but money isn't the end-all be-all of life. I just believe as women, when we get into relationships, we give our absolute best, the all of us, when we try to do it the right way. With the women that are interested in doing a relationship the right way, she goes in there and she gives her all. Physically, mentally, emotionally, she pours into the relationship and into that man and into whatever family they create. I just want women to be more selective. That's the correct word. I just want women to be more selective in who they choose to bring into their lives. Because when you do give yourself to this man, and this is what men are saying that they want these days, are submissive women. Well, you can't expect a woman to be submissive to a man that doesn't provide, serve, and protect her. I feel like those are the essence of a man. A man is a provider, a server, and he protects a woman. I can't respect a man that doesn't do any of those things. You don't add any value to my life if you cannot do those things. If you cannot protect and serve me, if you cannot provide, protect, and serve me, you do not bring anything that I require from a man. I don't need to waste 2 months or 3 months of my life getting to the point of me realizing that you don't bring the qualities that I want. I want to know it in day one. My time is extremely valuable to me. Everyone should feel that way about themselves. And if your time is valuable to you, then you're very selective on how you spend it. I want to spend my time with a man that knows that my time is valuable and sees me as a delicate woman and a delicate flower, and you want me to be submissive, then you provide things for me to make my life easy so I can be a delicate flower for you. It's that simple. It's impossible for a man to require a woman to play the roles of a man and then still come and be submissive to you. I'm a traditional African woman. I'm not a first generation immigrant. I'm an immigrant. I came on the boat. I came on the plane with my mother to the US. I'm an immigrant. I'm an African woman through and through. It's just the accent is a little bit off, but I'm an African woman. I was raised in a very African and traditional way. When we give ourselves to a man, when we submit to a man, it's just that. We're extremely submissive. We're extremely submissive to the point that it kind of comes up as slavery, you know? It comes off as, he owns us. So I want to choose the man that is going to provide, protect, and serve me for me to give myself in that totality to. That's all I'm saying. And when am I going to learn that you're a provider and a protector and a server? I don't want to learn it other than day one. If you're the man that I want, if you're the provider, the protector, and the server, there should be no reason why you can't prove that and show that to me from day one. There's absolutely no reason why you can't do that. And if you cannot do that, then thank you, sir. I appreciate you for not wasting my time or yours. I don't understand what's so difficult about that's point of reasoning. I don't understand what's so difficult about that point of reasoning. I think it's very valid. And I think women have lowered the bar so low that these men think just that simple request is high maintenance, and it's no maintenance at all. It's the basics. It's the basics. A man should provide that for you. And if he's not willing to do that for you on the first date, then why would you think this is something worthy of your pursuit, lady? Why would you think this is something that's worthy of your time? You're a woman. You are life itself. You are a creator. You're a portal of life. You are valuable. You're important. The man that you want to choose to be with should know that and prove that from day one, that he knows that. Every woman deserves that. I don't think there's any kind of prerequisite for a woman to deserve that kind of treatment. You should be the kind of man that your mother raised, that realizes that every woman deserves to be treated like a delicate flower. That's all I'm saying. It's not about gold digging or anything, because I'm the first person to preach having your own as a woman. I'm the first person because of my experience. I went from having a considerable lot, to having nothing for 4 years. And it's taken me 4 years to crawl out of that into finding my footing again. I would never come on the internet and advise a woman to say, oh, lean on the man, only depend on the man. No. You can have your own and he can have his, and a woman should be spending his, not hers. Because a woman should be saving and preparing for a day where she doesn't have her knight in shining armor, and that's who he should be. A woman's life should be soft. And there are a lot of men that feel that way. If you don't feel that way, why don't you feel that way? I think that's a bigger issue for you to deal with than to be trying to go and court another person's child and try and bring them into a situation that doesn't bring them happiness. You should want to give the best to people that you bring into your lives. Or be alone, be single. And a lot of people in the comments section were saying yesterday, oh, you're gonna die alone. You probably don't have any. A man is the least of my problems. A man is the least of my wants, and that should tell you with my approach. I'm not desperate. I'm not desperate to jump into anything. I'm not desperate to jump into a relationship. That's why I have the time and integrity to choose selectively. I don't understand how that doesn't correlate. I have options. That's why I'm behaving like I have options. You jump into any situation when you feel like you don't have options or you're not worthy of options. I'm incredibly worthy of options, and I have them. So I'm gonna vet and see who I want and choose who I want and who is best for me. If you don't qualify, you don't qualify. Everybody isn't for everyone. We're not all for each other, and that's okay. That's absolutely fine. That's absolutely okay. I'm a girl that's 30 years old. I'm a 30-year-old woman who's been married for 5 years. And if my husband hadn't died, I'd still be married right now. So I think I have one or two things to offer someone. And then what was I going to say? Like, I don't have anything to prove to anyone. My current car is a Mercedes SLK. I don't have anything to prove to anyone. Like, the track record speaks for itself. You don't want to be available to anyone. That's why the totem pole has been dropped so low. That's why the starting point has been placed so low, because these women nowadays, they're just jumping into anything and just giving themselves out for free. That's why the rest of us are finding it hard to find men that are men. To find men that are men. This culture of I have a man just to say I have a man, it's hurting us all. It's hurting us all, Susanna. It's hurting us all. Just to have somebody and say I have someone. That's sad. I think you need to do a lot of work on yourself and find out who you are and be okay with, even if you do end up alone. Is that the worst thing that could possibly happen to you? And if it is, I think you have a lot of healing and a lot of healing to do. People are afraid to be with themselves alone and be to themselves, and it's like, why? That's my funnest time. I love being alone. That shouldn't be something you can weaponize and insult someone and say, oh, you're going to end up alone. Is that the worst thing possible? Can you not spend time with yourself? The culture of I have a man just to say I have a man. It's hurting us all, Susanna.